Hello to everyone out there in YouTube world. Miss Makeda Valletta, also known as the Renaissance Amazon. And I'm also going to go live on my IG right now. So if you don't follow me on IG, make sure you do at the_Renaissance_Amazon_81. A lot of you follow me for various reasons. Yes, I do post dance videos sometimes because I am a dancer, but that's not the bulk of the channel. So for all the people who keep writing me and telling me they want to see more dance videos, I have someplace else you can go to see more dance videos. But I'm not here to post free dance videos all day. Okay, so just note to those of you who always say that. So let me go live on my IG, and we're going to begin this discussion. Okay, so now I'm live on Instagram as well. Instagram, hello to my people on Instagram. If you don't, I'm also live on YouTube, and this video will be archived on YouTube. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, be sure to find me at the Renaissance Amazon. Okay, so I want to talk about a topic that I've been pretty much silent on, right? And there's many different angles and complexities to this conversation. So I would have a conversation about Jay-Z, Colin Kaepernick, the NFL, and standing for something, okay? So those of you who've been following me for a while, you are probably familiar with my background and the fact that I come from freedom fighters. My dad was heavily involved in the civil rights movement. He was in the front lines of it. He was a part of the organization that strategically put together the Black Panthers. He knew Malcolm X very well. When Malcolm X was assassinated, 5 blocks away from where I grew up in Harlem, and my dad was there that day. He got there after it happened. And my mom's a union organizer, very much involved in politics, okay? And so for me and my friends that I grew up with in New York City, we never saluted the flag. Going to New York City public school, they didn't bring up the national anthem and stuff like that in school, but if we were ever in any situation where we had to salute the flag, the whole national anthem, none of my people ever did that. And when I was an assistant track coach, when I graduated college, in 2003, I was an assistant track coach at a high school in Long Island. And even when I was an assistant track coach, I did not get up for the national anthem. I didn't kneel, but I stayed in my seat. Because the way I feel about that song is fuck that song. Okay? Now, just if you listen to what the song is saying, it's a bunch of bullshit. Especially coming from an Afro-Indigenous perspective, okay? Afro-Native American, African Native American perspective on this land. The national anthem is bullshit. So Black people, we have our Black national anthem, right? And so I was always about that life. Now, in 2003, when the war started, one of my childhood best friends, she was the captain of her college basketball team, okay? You can look this up. Her name is Tony Smith, Tony with an I, Smith, right? She was the captain of her college basketball team. It was a D3 school called Manhattanville. When the war started in 2003, she turned her back on the flag. She would not, salute it, whatever, before her games. It became this big thing. And my childhood best friend, Tony, was half white, just like Colin Kaepernick. She was Jewish and half Black, half Jewish. A couple of my friends were half Jewish, half Black growing up. She was half Jewish, half Black. She looked white. If you looked at her, you couldn't necessarily tell that she was half Black. She had full lips, but a lot of Jewish women do, So, but her skin was white, her hair was straight. You could not necessarily look at her and tell that she was half Black. And she was getting all these death threats, okay? All these just threats from all kinds of people. And then this veteran jumped on the court at one of her games with a big American flag and got in her face and started yelling at her. And it became national news. So now this was on CNN. It was all over the news in 2003. I remember they had coaches from UConn, coaches from all these different schools talking about my friend, how she was being un-American, talking about the politics of athletes and protests. And my best friend, she gave a very eloquent speech about what the American flag meant to her. She was a sociology major. She talked about the history of what has happened to Africans and Native Americans on this land, and how she did not support the war. So she wasn't about that. She wasn't doing that. Even black students on her team were telling her, go leave the country if you have a problem. Like, people were totally threatening her. So this was big national news. And I was so proud of her. She's won awards for that since then. And when I graduated high school, I forgot about this. My mom has to remind me that I received the Public Advocate Award. That was the award that I received when I graduated high school, right? So I've always been into activism. And that's why I always talk about where I come from, about the people who raised me, about what I grew up around, because it matters and it's significant, okay? So now I'm not a fan of the NFL. I have a degree in sports science. I love to train athletes. My twin brother is a sports journalist, okay? So I'm used to sports being on, but I'm not a spectator. I don't even understand football. I'm not a football fan. I really am not a fan of watching any sport. I like to play sports. I love to train athletes, love to play sports, but I'm not really a spectator, right? So, and I don't feel sorry for athletes. Like, athletes, they don't win a championship and they want to start crying or whatever. I'm like, look at that shit, right? Now, Colin Kaepernick is fucked up that he doesn't have a job. But to me, I'm not concerned about that. Like, I don't feel any kind of way because he doesn't have a job. Because this is what happens. When you stand for something, when you decide to take a stand and be about something for real, okay? Once that happens, that cuts off the financing from big corporate commercial companies because they don't want that. So any of you who follow my other IG, my other YouTube, The Body Scientist 81, and my Instagram, if you see the things I talk about when it comes to food and nutrition, I can't get corporate sponsors because I think Gatorade is bullshit. So I'm not going to let Gatorade pay me $1 million to do an ad or to go promote it because I know it's crap. And my number one priority, what I'm about, is telling people the truth. Sometimes I wish I wasn't like this because it keeps you way more broke. Way more broke. The people that make all the money be doing fucked up shit. The people that make all the money be selling you some fucked up shit, or going along with the okie doke. So when you decide that you're not going to go along with the okie doke and you're going to be about that, the truth is going to cut off some of your money making potential, and that's just a fact. So once Colin Kaepernick decided that he was going to take a knee and now he doesn't have a job, that's just a consequence of what happens. Like, that can happen in any industry. My dad was a journalist my whole life. And I saw him fight with white editors and stuff like that about stuff that he was writing and them trying to change it and the kind of blackballing and things that happened because he would not bow down to that shit. So that's just a consequence. Now, NFL players get paid tons of money. Like, if an NFL player loses their job, that's not my fight to fight for you to get back your job. I really don't care. Your job to me is not that important. You're an athlete, okay? Athletes are entertainers, that's it. So if you stop playing football, oh, whoop-de-doo. Like, I am not going to spend a second of my time fighting for Colin Kaepernick to have a job. That's not important to me, okay? That's number one. Number two, I don't understand where people are looking. Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z is an entertainer. He's a rapper. He's not even one of my favorite rappers, but he's a highly respected rapper. He's a businessman, first and foremost. And anybody who is really a business person for real, they don't really give a fuck about the ethics and the details of shit. They care about the money. The bottom dollar is the money they're going to make. This is the reason why every fashion label uses sweatshops. This is the reason why all the food that we eat is bullshit, because business people don't care about that. So it's like, I can't expect much. It's like, I'm not looking to Jay-Z to be a civil rights leader. He's not a fucking civil rights leader. I don't know, like, who raised a lot of you and why so many people are looking to these stupid entertainers to be leaders and to be civil rights leaders. Jay-Z has never been that. Jay-Z has never been a black scholar. He's never been anybody who's super impressive that we should be listening to anyway, unless it's about making money. And even then, it's really for the people that got money, because how did Jay-Z get money in the first place? He got money in the first place doing fucked up shit. He got money in the first place selling drugs in his hood. I don't care what anybody says. I never think that's okay. I never think it's cool. I was never the good girl, smart girl, nerdy chick that was trying to deal with a drug dealer. Fuck that shit. Never. Okay? Never. And I don't like people's excuses as to why they had to sell crack. All that shit is bullshit to me. Because everybody who sold crack or done whatever, they sold way more drugs than what they needed to feed themselves and their families. They sold drugs to the point where they had crazy chains, cars, all this excessive shit. And crack is what ruined the hood in every motherfucking city, okay? Every city in America in the 80s was cracked out and fucked up because, and so many people died because of drug dealers. So to me, that shit's bullshit. But the fact that that's where Jay-Z was to begin with, he made his money from the beginning of his blood money, and he didn't give a fuck about his people. And nowhere in between there has he said that he gave a fuck about his people. So why are you guys looking to Jay-Z to be a fucking civil rights leader? Okay? Now, if Jay-Z told some people in the past that they shouldn't fuck with the NFL and people listen, those people were stupid. Because you, at the end of the day, everybody has their own free will. And at the end of the day, if you work in the entertainment industry, if you are Jermaine Dupri or any other successful artist in the entertainment industry, you know the industry is fucked up. You know that people don't really care about you. You know everybody cares about their money. Okay? So if you made the decision, are we puppets now? Are you guys all puppets? If you made the decision not to do it because Jay-Z told you not to do it, okay. But then hopefully you didn't make that decision just because Jay-Z told you not to do it. Maybe he told you not to do it. Maybe you thought about it. Maybe you thought, okay, it's not the best thing. So now later on, if he does it, you can in good conscience know that you didn't do it because you didn't want to do it for these said reasons. But if you simply didn't do it because Jay-Z told you not to do it and you thought it was going to be bad for your business and your brand, that means the reason why you did not do it is not because you cared about your people either. You chose not to do it because you were afraid of how it's going to make you look and ultimately affect your business and your money. It's all about money at the end of the day. So I don't feel any kind of way because you told somebody else not to do it in the past. So the fuck what? We could throw that point out, okay? Because what do you expect from Jay-Z? Like, I don't expect him to be Jesus. I don't even believe in Jesus. But I'm saying, I don't see him as an impressive person. I don't see him as a black leader. I don't see him as a black scholar. You know what I'm saying? I don't. I see him about his money, and that's it. I don't understand how what Jay-Z is doing is going to bring about social justice or change. I don't see that, right? I don't see the connection. But at the same time, I feel like they have nothing to do with each other because I'm not looking to Jay-Z for that. But you know what else? The fact that Jay-Z got a contract to bring acts to the Super Bowl or whatever, I also don't look at Jay-Z as a good performer. Like, to me, I would rather have a Jermaine Dupri be putting on shows than Jay-Z. I mean, I'm like, what does Jay-Z really know about shows? His wife does. Beyonce killed some shit. But I would never want to see Jay-Z in concert. That just bores me to sleep just thinking about it. He's not a performer. So he's a rapper, but I don't associate him with dope performances. You know what I'm saying? I associate Beyonce with that shit. I associate Missy with that. Diddy with that. You know, I can see them giving that contract to Diddy, but Jay-Z, I'm like, what the fuck does he know about anyway? Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, to continue with it, somebody said that Jermaine Dupri said that Jay didn't tell him that. Yeah, I heard that too in that interview. But a lot of people are saying a lot of things. So I heard that Jermaine Dupri said Jay didn't tell him that. People say a lot of people, other people say whatever. But to me, it's like whether he did it, whether he didn't, so what? Okay. Then the other thing is, I feel like a lot of black people are really fake. Okay. Because why do people expect Jay-Z to owe Colin Kaepernick so much, right? But what about all the black NFL players that are in the NFL right now who never took a knee? They are the biggest traitors and sellouts and idiots, is the black NFL players. Because are they not smart enough to realize, okay? Now I shouldn't have to put people up on simple game, okay? But this is what I've learned from being the daughter of a union organizer and watching my mom do the work that she does successfully. There's power in solidarity. People have to know their worth, okay? If you are a black NFL, there is no NFL without the black athletes. So if all the black athletes said, fuck that song, and not even on some police brutality shit, like Colin Kaepernick's reasoning behind it was real simplistic to me. My reason behind it is the song is a fucked up song. It was written by a racist man who owned slaves, okay? Look at the history behind the song. Look at the history behind the song and who wrote the song. For that reason alone, no Afro-American should be subject to having to fucking stand and do shit during that song, okay? So, and then I remember in this whole debate when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee, people kept saying, oh, but it's not about the song. It is about the song to me. Because of course, like taking a knee at a football game, what does that have to do? What does that even have to do with stopping police brutality? You know, what does that have to do with that? Like, and then Colin Kaepernick at one point was against voting, which is really stupid. When he was still in the NFL, I don't know. I didn't follow the shit that close. But I remember at one point he said he didn't vote. And it's like, you dummy. If you think that voting doesn't matter, but taking a knee at an NFL game does, you have the shit wrong. You need to go vote. Yes, every single person who writes on my IG or my YouTube to dance, right, and starts giving me orders, every single one of you, when I'm done, I'm blocking every single one of you. Don't fucking tell me what to do, okay? That doesn't work. Don't do that shit. So all the rest of you who want to try to do that, you were forewarned. Go ahead and do it so I can delete you and block you when I'm done. Okay. So to me, I'm just like, okay, like I don't see, if you have all these black football players who still decided to play football to this day, and they're man, that's really their friend. Why do people think Jay-Z and Colin Kaepernick are friends? Are people naive? Like, again, entertainment business. It's a business. The sports business is an entertainment business. The music business is an entertainment business. And anybody who knows anything about the motherfucking entertainment business, if we haven't learned anything about all the stories from all the acts that have gone broke and been robbed by their manager and label, is that these people aren't your friends, okay? They're not. Just because you met Jay-Z when you were taking a knee and you had a conversation doesn't mean you two were friends. You know what I'm saying? And really, where's Jay-Z's power in the situation? You know who has more power is all your black football playing friends who keep acting like slaves and just saluting the flag to their racist ass song, despite the white racist owners who talk shit about them. They just go along with the okie doke. But if all the black NFL players said, you know what, fuck this shit, we're all taking a knee, or we're not going to play. We're not going to play until we have Colin Kaepernick. What are they going to do? They can't just make another NFL with no black players. So the black players in the NFL hold the real power. If Colin Kaepernick is supposed to get a job back, let them fight that fight. Why is that Jay-Z's motherfucking problem? Since when did that become his mission? Come on, people. Let's think critically. And then I feel like a lot of black people are super hypocritical. When people say that Jay-Z needed the money to feed their families, people say that about Jay-Z. I'm like, no, he didn't need to do that deal to feed his family. He's rich enough. His family will be fine. So that whole thing about he needed it for his family, no, he didn't. But he's a businessman. What else do you expect? And these black people who are mad at Jay-Z be the same ones celebrating the 4th of July up at a barbecue, be the same ones celebrating fucked up ass Thanksgiving, be the same ones just ignoring everything. Okay, and you have every single athlete, singer, entertainer has an endorsement from Pepsi or Gatorade or some fucked up company. You can go on Instagram right now. All I see is any girl with over 100,000 followers taking pictures with some kind of tea that they're trying to get you to buy. And they have no idea what the fuck is in that. They don't care. They haven't looked at it, but they're trying to sell it to you. Shit is poison. But they're going to make a buck, so they're going to sell it to you. Everybody is doing that shit. I don't do that shit. If you watch what I do, I don't do that shit. But I'm like a minority in that, especially because I'm in business. I am my business. And I operate with morals, and I'm very picky about how I don't want to scam people or be on some bullshit and just sell you anything. I can sell all kinds of nail creams for my nails and make people buy it. And I know it's bullshit. A lot of people do that. So why the fuck you mad at Jay-Z? Come on, let's think critical. Why does Jay-Z owe Colin Kaepernick anything? Why? And why do you care so much that Colin Kaepernick doesn't have a job? He's a fucking football player. So what? Let him go do something else. Maybe he can go to law school, become an attorney, and make a change. Maybe that's what he's supposed to be doing. But I'm not going to spend my time mad because Colin Kaepernick don't have a job. When there's a lot of regular people out here that have even less, okay, than that. And as somebody, I know what happens. Saying it's not that simple. Some of them are grown. No, they're stupid, okay? Like any big old black dude playing in NFL, like, and they've been done before Colin Kaepernick. Because again, a lot of people are not brave enough to think for themselves. But a lot of people aren't smart enough to do research and have the facts. And unfortunately, a lot of people weren't raised by parents who taught them shit, okay? But the fucking national anthem is a bullshit ass song. Independent of Colin Kaepernick, independent of police brutality. Even if there was no police brutality, that's still a fucked up song. And I, as a black person, as an Afro-Indigenous woman, am never going to be saluting the flag to that song. And I have a right to say that because I'm more American than any fucking white person in America. Okay? So no one's going to tell me I'm an American because I do that. But you know what? I'm the kind of person that I will do that even if I lose money. That's who I am. And that's who Colin Kaepernick is. So he's lost money. Okay, that's how the game goes. It's not anybody's fucking duty to get him his job back. But if it was anybody, if you want to point the fingers at anybody, fuck pointing the fingers at Jay-Z. Why is Jay-Z Colin Kaepernick saber? Point the motherfucking fingers at the black athletes that still are playing and didn't do shit because they're the ones that have the ability to change the shit in the NFL. Okay? And if the real issue that you, because my issue with the song is different than the rest of people, but if your issue is police brutality, then why don't y'all get out there in the streets and start getting the people in your city and your town to vote and to vote in local elections and to know what's going on so you can therefore start to change the laws. Why don't you do that shit? What the fuck are you spending time mad at Jay-Z for? What do you expect him to do? He's just a silly little entertainer. He's not that impressive, okay? He's not that deep. So the fact that people are looking at him for that is like, that says something about you, okay? For real. Like, seriously. The shit's not that important. So I just wanted to say that about Jay-Z, Colin Kaepernick, and the NFL and standing for something. And people are going to watch sports regardless. People are going to watch sports regardless. So nobody is hanging all the black men who are watching NFL still, all the ones who are playing in the NFL still, all the ones who are coaching in the NFL still, and doing everything else. Come on, people. There's so many fake ass people on the internet that try to act like they're so deep and they stand for something. Well, all you gotta do is sit on the internet and talk. What do you really do? What do you really know about organizing? For real. You can take offense to what I'm saying, but I'm asking you a real question. And I always state what I come from in the beginning of the video, so you can go back and listen to that if you need to. Okay? So I'm losing my light, and I hope you all have a good day. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. Peace.